These lessons this morning go through those questions in the baptismal covenant, respecting the dignity of every human being, being constant in worship and prayer. It's all there. But it's remembering who we are and whose we are. And it is to proclaim the glory of God in our daily work and tasks for the building up of the body of Christ. It's not that difficult, and yet there are times we make it very difficult. But we are invited again and again to hear, to worship, to care for self and others. And that's the task at hand. Walter Brueggemann is one of my favorite theologians, and I've read from him in the past. This is something he wrote in a book called Finally Comes the Poet in 1989. We preach mostly to believers, yet the gospel is too readily heard and taken for granted, as though it contained no unsettling news and no unwelcome threat. What began as news in the gospel is easily assumed, slotted, and conveniently dismissed. We depart having heard, but without noticing the urge to transformation. That is not readily compatible with our comfortable believing that asks little and receives less. The gospel is thus a truth widely held, but a truth greatly reduced. It is a truth that has been flattened, trivialized, and rendered inane. Partly the gospel is simply an old habit among us, neither valued nor questioned, but more than that, our technical way of thinking reduces mystery to problem and transforms assurance into certitude, revises quality into quantity, and so takes the categories of biblical faith and represents them in manageable shapes. There is that oft-quoted phrase that has been used more than once. I think it was a Niebuhr in the 30s who said it. But we need at times to be reminded that the gospel comes to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. We at times are the comfortable. But we are called to be the body of Christ in the world, to remember our responsibility not only to ourselves here, but to our neighbors as close as Haiti and in other parts of the world where unmentionable things happen, as they do here at times. But our calling as a baptismal people is to respond, to be transformed, and to transform. I close with a prayer poem by Walter Brueggemann from his book, Awed to Heaven, Rooted in Earth. The day demands that we begin in praise of you, for the day is yours and we are yours. We could not live the day without reference to you, without your gifts, without your commands. We begin with praise for the gift of life, for the gift of our life together, for the gift of life in your world with all your beloved creatures, for the gift of life in your church with your steady recital of wonders. You alone, only you who made and makes and remakes heaven and earth, you who executes justice and gives food we know not how, you who sets prisoners free and sights the blind, you who lifts up and watches and upholds, you who reigns forever, you, and therefore us. You accept we turn to lesser trusts, all of us with our trust in the powers. You accept we turn to ignoble aims, all of us preoccupied with ourselves. You accept we invest in our little controls and our larger fears, all of us marked by anxiety. And then we watch as you ease us out of anxiety, as you heal ourselves turn to new, as you topple powers and bring new chances for truthful public life. You accept, but then finally, always, everywhere you, and us on the receiving end, and we are grateful. Amen.
Amen.